Okay, so this is our third video in our revision for your upcoming trigonometry test. Probably the worst right angle triangle I've ever drawn in my life, but we're just going to work with it today. So, welcome back. This one is using trigonometry to find angles. So if we have a look here, once again we've got a right angle triangle. You notice that I've changed the way that it looks because I'm all about creativity. So first off though, you'll notice the mind map is still here because of course once again almost every time this is what I'll actually be using to make sure that I get this question right. So the first one actually asks us to work out the correct side. So once again, drawing a line through that right angle will take me to the hypotenuse. Drawing a line through my angle will take me to my opposite side, and this of course must therefore be my adjacent. So I'm going to cross out the opposite side because I really just want to be working with the adjacent and the hypotenuse, which means that, of course, I need to be using this ratio. So I've picked my ratio. Now I've just got to fill in what I actually know. So once again, writing out the formula at the start, cos of my angle is equal to the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. And then here is, now we're up to this one. Fill in our formula. Fill in what we actually need to do. So we don't have an angle this time, so we're just going to reuse that angle symbol, and then we're going to put 7 over 14. So our adjacent side goes on top, and our hypotenuse goes on bottom. So looking at this now, we need to actually do a few different things than we do when we're actually looking at sides. So if I want to find the angle, then I need to use the inverse of cos or cosine, and it's very important to make sure that you include those brackets. So how do I actually do this? Well, here we go. Once again, calculator. You can tell me the first thing we could check for. Well, of course it is it in degrees? So if we want to do this, then we're going to have to use the second function button. Okay, so we go second function and we press cos. Now we know that we've got this right because we've got cos minus 1 and the calculator's got cos minus 1. And we just need to put what's inside the brackets. So it's going to be brackets 7. This line means, of course, divide by 14. And then we're going to close the bracket. We're going to press our answer. So we get 60. So if this was 60.56 or 60.74, then we would probably need to press second function, or we definitely need to press second function again. And this button down here, which says degrees, minutes, seconds. And there we go. It gives us 60 degrees, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. So I want to write that answer down now that we've calculated it. So our angle is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, so that's the first one that I wanted to do today. And just a really quick way of how to find the angle. Well, it's the way we find the angle, but a very quick question. What I actually wanted to do was show you a slightly different one. So I'll just get rid of this. And you may be faced with a question that looks like this. So what happens when we get, I'll change the way that the triangle looks. Just get rid of those little bits. What happens if you get something along the lines of, let's say, 5, 3, and 4, and you're asked to find this angle? Now, what's confusing about this question, and a lot of kids find confusing, is that you actually have 3 sides. And which one of these do you use? Well, the answer is actually you can use any one of them that you want. So I'm, once again, just going to label it. So I'm going to say this is the hypotenuse, draw my line through my angle, this is my opposite, and of course this is my adjacent side. So since I've used sine and I've used cos in the other video, today I'm actually going to use tan. So I need the opposite side and the adjacent. Now, since I'm not using the hypotenuse, it doesn't matter that there's a 5 there. I'm just not using it in this particular question. So it doesn't matter if you have 3 sides. You get to make a particular choice. So if I look at tan of my angle is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tan of my angle, so my opposite side was 3 and my adjacent side was 4. Now, once again, if we're trying to find the angle, we need to use the second function of tan, or the inverse of tan, tan minus 1, put in our brackets, 3 divided by 4, and once again, we're back to the calculator. So, if we have a look at this, we need to use second function tan, and of course, that's going to be 3 divided by 4, close our brackets, and this is where we get an angle that's actually a decimal, and this is where it's then handy to press second function, degrees, minutes, seconds, and it tells us that our angle is 36 degrees and 52 minutes. Now, I'm not going to worry about seconds so much. I just want you to go to minutes in this particular question. Now, if we worked it out, of course, we would get the same answer with any of the three ratios that we use. So that's it. That is what happens if you get three values. You get to pick, basically, I suppose, is the best way that I could actually answer that. So that's video 3. 2 more to come, 3 more probably to come. Make sure you're keeping track and abreast of what's going on. I hope everybody's safe out there. I will see you in the next video.